my brow and I sweat my rust. Then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow. To the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Sun hasn't died deep in my bones, straight from inside. I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. Oh, what do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know anymore. Stops my bones from wondering just who I am, who I am, who I am. Oh, who am I? Well, some nights I wish that this all would end, 'cause I could use some friends for a change. And some nights I'm scared you'll forget me again. Some nights I always win. But I the comments she call off. Man, I look into my nephew's eyes. Man, you wouldn't believe the most amazing things that can come from some terrible lie.
not one to break promises. I don't wanna hurt you, but I need to breathe. At the end of it all, you're still my best friend. But there's something inside that I need to release. Which way is right? Which way is wrong? How do I say that I need to move on? You know we had this separate ways, and it feels like I am just too close to love you. There's nothing I can really say. I can't lie no more. I can't hide no more. Got to be true to myself. And it feels like I am just too close to love you. So I'll be on my way. You've given me more than I can return. Yet there's oh so much that you deserve. There's nothing to say, nothing to do. I'm nothing to give. I must live without you. You know we had this separate ways, and it feels like I am just too close to love you. There's nothing I can really say. I can't lie no more. I can't lie no more. Got to be true to myself. And it feels like I am just too close to love you. So I'll be on my way. So I'll be on my way. And it feels like I am just too close to love you. There's nothing that I can really say. I can't lie no more. I can't hide no more. Got to be true to myself. And it feels like I am just too close to love you. So I'll be on my way. So I'll be on my way. So I'll be on my way. I can't get these memories out of my mind, and some kind of madness has started to evolve. I tried so hard to let you go, but some kind of madness is swallowing me whole. Yeah, I have finally seen the light, and I have madness. Time has numbered my days, and I'll go along with everything you say. But I ride home laughing, look at me now, that the walls of my town, they come crumbling down. And my ears hear the call of my unborn sons, and I know that choice is color all I've done. But I'll explain it all to the watchman's son. I ain't never lived a year better spent in love. Cause I know my weakness, know my voice, and I'll believe in grace and choice. And I know perhaps my heart is, I'll be born without a mask. That nurtured my greed and my pride, I stretched my arms into the sky. I cry, Babel, Babel, look at me now, that the walls of my town, they come crumbling down. You ask, where will we stand in the winds that will howl, as all we see will slip into the cloud. Come down from your mountain and stand where we've been. You know our breath is weak and our body thin. Press my nose up to the glass around your heart. I should have known I was weaker from the start. You'll build your walls, and I will play my bloody part to tear them down. Well, I'm gonna tear them down. Cause I know my weakness, know my voice, and I'll believe in grace and choice. And I know perhaps my heart is fast, but I'll be born without a
From Columbus Crew Stadium on the State Fairgrounds, welcome to this international friendly as the Columbus Crew of Major League Soccer host the FA Cup champions Wigan Athletic. Hi everyone, Neil Sika with thecrew.com's Cody Sherritt. We are here to have some fun. Thanks for joining here on thecrew.com, our webcast of this international friendly. Crew coming off a big win against Portland on Sunday, 1-0, Cody. And the old adage is when you have a week off in league play, it's better to play in a game than to train. Here's a chance for that lineup to keep momentum. Also some guys to play throughout the entire roster.
Yeah, you got to stay sharp against the English champions. And also some of these young guys are chomping at the bit to face a European side. Obviously, we saw last year Aaron Horton score to beat Stoke City. So who will be the hero tonight?
Majestic victory for Wigan. They get their first major piece of silverware, taking home the FA Cup championship trophy, but a few days later relegated to the championship. They're trying to find their way back. They've got an energetic manager coming in for Roberto Martinez and Owen Coyle. 7 new signings, 5 which will feature here tonight. It's mainly about fitness now, but they always are excited to get the season going.
Yeah, it's the first match of Wigan's preseason. Obviously, it's about gaining fitness and building chemistry with 5 new guys in the starting lineup. And then they have a big match coming up on August 11th against Manchester United, the FA Community Shield.
Community Shield will lead into their first game of the championship season. That'll be the 13th of August against Barnsley. Well, earlier in the week, Cody had a chance to talk with Conrad Varzia, who got his first start on Sunday. That's featured in the Black and Gold Breakdown.
Welcome back to the Black and Gold Breakdown. I'm Ashley Ignelzi. And although there is no MLS match for the Columbus Crew this weekend, the team isn't taking any time off. The squad spent this week preparing to host the 2018 FA Cup champions, Wigan Athletic. Coming up next, Cody Sherritt joins us with his matchday report. But first up, here's Conrad Varzia and his thoughts on this weekend's international friendly.
Conrad, a break from MLS play this weekend, but you younger guys really embraced
playing a team like Wigan, who won the FA Cup last year. It's going to be a good test for us.
You're coming off your first professional start. How do you build off that momentum? Ohio State, Roger Espinoza. What did you learn from him in your time at Ohio State and then at Sporting Kansas City?
Yeah, I mean, his story is just unbelievable. It just shows how, someone who went from junior college then to Ohio State, World Cup, Olympics, all that. I think his work ethic just, is above and beyond anyone else's, and that's one of the parts of his game that I've, really come to admire and take away from him.
5 Columbus products in the starting lineup against the Timbers. Talk about the local pride on this team.
Yeah, it was nice to, hear before the game when they're announcing the lineup, Gahanna, there's Olentangy, all the Worthington. So, yeah, definitely feels good, especially playing here in Columbus. All the fans that come out, the kids that come out, it's just, I think it's good for the program and everything.
Good news on the injury front as Drew Becky, Ryan Finley, and Augustine Viana all saw action in Wednesday's reserve match against the Dayton Dutch Lions. Weather at the time of kickoff Saturday is expected to be sunny and in the mid-80s. If you can't make it out to the match, be sure to watch the live stream on thecrew.com as Neil Sika and I will have the call. For thecrew.com, I'm Cody Sherritt. Thanks for watching.
See
And a fantastic job of the anthems, God Save the Queen, followed by the Star-Spangled Banner. A gorgeous night for this international friendly. Columbus and Wigan Athletic, their very first meeting as the Crew, all-time in international exhibitions, 10-4-2, and against English clubs, which they've played host to the last two seasons, 3-3-2. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for Owen Coyle and his Laddicks. Relegated after a 9-20-9 season last year, despite 3 days earlier from that relegation, the defeat that sent them down 4-1 to Arsenal, defeating Manchester City at Wembley, the greatest victory in club history. Here is the starting 11, starting in the back, Scott Carson, new goalkeeper. He'll be in between the framework for Owen Coyle as he comes over from Bursaspor in Turkey. One of 7 new signings in 9 days, 5 feature in this 11. Across the back, right to left, it'll be Adam Buxton with James Perch, who was a member of Newcastle United when they came here 2 seasons ago. Perch didn't play, though. He was signed in the off-season for £750,000. He'll pair with Emerson Boyce, 4 caps for Barbados, and his national team presence. And out on the left will be Stephen Craney. Craney from Glasgow, Scotland, the 15-year pro, most recently played with Blackpool. In the midfield in this 4-3-3 look, it will be James MacArthur, along with Ben Watson, the FA Cup hero. He had the game-winning goal in the 91st minute. And Chris McCann rounding out that trio in the middle of the park. McCann, known by Coyle well from his time at Burnley. And then up top, Jordi Gomez, who had several goals on the road to the FA Cup championship. The Spaniard from Catalonia will feature up top with new signee Grant Holt, who starred at Norwich, even captained the side at times, 78 goals at his time there for the Canaries. And Jean Beauséjour, the Chilean international, will feature in that 4-3-3 with Gomez and Watson up top. So again for Wigan, it's Carson, Buxton, Perch, Boyce, Craney, MacArthur, Watson, McCann, Gomez, Holt, Beauséjour. For Robert Varzia on the Columbus Crew, a lineup that will probably feature for the first 60 minutes of the match before wholesale changes, unlimited substitutions in this preseason, this friendly in the middle of the season. Matt Lampson got his first career shutout on Sunday, had an assist against the Dayton Dutch Lions on Wednesday in the reserve game. He will be in between the framework for the Crew. The back four consists of Josh Williams, Chad Marshall, Chad Barson for Columbus, with Conrad Varzia, Ben Spees, Will Trapp, Bernardo Ignor, Dominic Oduro, and Aaron Schoenfeld were the pairing up top against Portland, and they will start here tonight as Trapp will continue his role. He was named the Barbasol Man of the Match in the 1-0 victory over the Timbers, ending their MLS best 15-game unbeaten streak. So Lampson will be in the goal to the left. It'll be Carson in the goal to the right as Wigan in the States. They will take on the Dayton Dutch Lions on the 16th before a matchup with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and then returning for 2 preseason matchups before their massive banana kit and the vertical strike.
But obviously preparing for championship football next season, but Europa League as well.
Could play over 60 matches before it's all said and done. 46 in the championship. And in these games, like was the case last season with Stoke, conditioning of the utmost importance. Double training session yesterday.
It's not quite as hot as it was when Stoke visited last year. Some of those Englishmen were dying in this heat.
Danny O'Rourke with Josh Williams to his right. We'll have to keep an eye on Grant Holt, Carlisle native, coming over from Norwich City. One of the things Wigan excited about, even though they were relegated, the money they still had left over to bring on some signings that will help them in their championship march, plus European competition for the first time. This ball is out for the throw. Stephen Craney, former Blackpool man. Trapp at midfield on the collision with MacArthur. He'll able to work it on back to Perch. Just over 90 seconds in. That stretch pass from Boyce, disrupted by Ignor. He's got Spees wide On that left side, Conrad Varzia, much of the midfield similar to what we saw on Sunday, Cody, as the Crew beat Portland. Some pressure here. Watson, as the back pass go to Boyce, and Carson, his first touch of the game.
Yeah, you talked about that midfield. Fresh off 3 matches at the FIFA U20 World.
It's a good angled ball by Watson, but it's cut off. He was looking for Beausejour down the flank. Williams, he'll get forward up the right. Drop it on for Oduro, the team's leading goal scorer and an all-star candidate. Matt Lampson expected to go the full 90 tonight. He tried to hit the pass out wide to Barson. It'll go out of play. Holt, a pass intended for him. Marshall keeping an eye as Holt fell down. The 32-year-old was on the League One Team of the Year in 2010. Wigan, well, it will seem a little foreign after 8 seasons in the Premiership. Their first trip to top-flight football was a memorable one before the relegation. A dramatic finish 2 seasons ago with 7 wins in their last 9 to stay up. But conversely, just 1 win in their last 8 this past spring, and they could not avoid the fall. Holt had that on the instep on the first touch. Went off of Marshall out wide. Here's Onyora as he curves around the midfield.
You know, watching these guys train yesterday, you're very impressed with the size of some of these European players, but 2 guys that don't look outmatched out there, Josh Williams and Chad Marshall, and we saw Marshall step in right there with the header to knock it away from Holt.
Perch, 3 seasons at Newcastle, 65 games played with the Toon. Forward here for Beausejour. Was kept out of that FA Cup final because of a hamstring, who shined in that game, as did Callum McManaman. With a couple of tackles here, the ball comes free, but Espinoza had his ups and downs, but flourished toward the end of the campaign. It was good to see him chatting with familiar friends and family in town. Trap over the top. One homegrown player looking for another, and Barson getting forward as the Crew started 5 Columbusites on Sunday. And you count Josh Williams, the 6th from the state of Ohio, from Copley up north.
Tonight another Ben Spees starting on the left side of midfield.
Indeed. He was on the bench. Had he entered, you might have had 6 University of Akron players on the field against Caleb Porter's Timbers. Here's Carson. A baggie before his time in 2 seasons in Turkey. And on that goal kick, a heavy collision. Some friendly fire with Marshall and Williams. And Williams, who was down for the moment, is back up. Chris Penso, our referee, the Dover native.
Scary collision there between Williams and Marshall. It's like a tight end meeting a linebacker out there for American football terms. Good to see both are up and don't seem to be too affected out there.
Well, anytime there's a collision featuring Chad Marshall, there's always concern with the concussion history. He's taken a few knocks this year, including recently. Williams knocks that off Beausejour. He's had some disciplinarian moments in his career. The Chilean international has 50 caps. He featured on that World Cup team in 2010. That group really went for it. Exciting to watch. That dispossessed by McCann as he encroaches on the attacking half, and now will work it back negatively. Settling in through the first 7 minutes. And that pass, perched to MacArthur, runs awry. Spees to the Venezuelan who scored in his last 2 matches, Bernardo Onyora. Spees in some traffic. Not able to wiggle free against Jordi Gomez, the Catalonian. Carson. Holt got a little flick on, but Marshall is waiting for it. Well, needless to say, in talking to some of the Wigan players yesterday, it was appropriately named from the Wiganers themselves, the Verve, that famous song, A Bittersweet Symphony. 3 days after winning the FA Cup and then being relegated. On their climb, before they got to the Premiership, they spent just 2 seasons in the Championship previously. Carson, with Varzia applying a little pressure there on Perch. Barson kind of fanned at that effort off the smash by the keeper. Here's Holt on the good leave back. Watson touching off McCann. Beausejour, he'll keep it alive, but chipped that cross right at Matt Lampson, who didn't have much work to do against Portland, but when he was needed, he had that huge save in the 87th minute.
What a save that was. Darlington Nagbe cutting in. Matt Lampson making the dive and keeping it scoreless for the Crew.
Craney got the first nod. And McCann comes burling forward before it's knocked out.
You see Danny O'Rourke wearing the captain's armband for the Crew tonight. Obviously, Federico Higuain getting a break from play this weekend. Keep him rested up for next week's match against the New England Revolution.
Varzia fouls Watson. Well, and on the flip side, Emerson Boyce, 8th year with the Laddocks, wears the armband in place of normal club captain Gary Caldwell, who's coming off of double hip surgery. He's here, but still recuperating, as is Ali El Habsi from off-season shoulder surgery. He did not make the trip stateside. 10th minute and scoreless. Mayor with good pressure. He's been very good over the last month and a half. 5 consecutive league starts heading into next weekend when the Crew will host the New England Revolution. Craney. Beausejour got open over the top, but the flag is up for offside. Still early in this one, and both teams trying to find their rhythm a bit.
Only one real chance just a couple minutes ago from Wigan, but didn't trouble Matt Lampson too much. Made the easy catch on the Beausejour cross from the end line.
Considering amongst all the football league teams, Wigan very young, coming out of the old Wigan Borough, formed in 1932. Did not get into the Football League until 1978. There was even a time where they were looking, it seemed so dire, they were going to apply for the 2nd division in Scottish football. But were finally accepted. They've done well to get up to where they've been. Basking in the shadows of Manchester United and City, Bolton just down the road. Team that will rival them in the championship, the Ed Power Championship. That ball out. Lenore will throw and leave way actually for Barson. Just a ribbon of sunshine cutting down that wing. Well, is all that remains on this warm evening in Columbus. Barson jackknifes that forward to Spees. And then volleys on the second bounce, but Carson will field easily. It was interesting yesterday, Cody, at Wigan's training here at the stadium as they talked about losing Roberto Martinez. Kind of a cult following with what he was able to do. Now off at Everton. Aruna Kone, they lost their top scorer as well with 13 goals, but they feel that the infectious enthusiasm that Owen brought will hopefully keep them in the mix to get back to top-level soccer.
Plus, you have the hope that some of these new signings pan out. Grant Holt obviously bringing 23 Premier League goals over the past 2 seasons. Hopefully he can transfer that over to the championship.
O'Rourke over there to help muck up the play on the wing. His introduction into the central defense the last couple of games has been crucial. Here he's got a little bit of awkward play. Matt Lampson was maybe trying to direct that back to him. And Varzia and Schoenfeld a heavy foot as he's able to clip it to the middle. Watson. 6th season with the club upcoming. Gomez. Watson ran into Spies before he's able to eschew it back to Boyce. Now Gomez is able to get forward. Good recovery to defend by Nyor. Coming to the end of the first quarter hour. Well, it's certainly a lot warmer here than in Greater Manchester, and Wigan making that long trip over. Not easy on the legs and the lungs right now as they try and connect a few more down that far side.
It's a new second time we've seen this new look kind of formation for Robert Varzija with 3 internal central midfielders with Aduro and now Spies on the outside to provide that width with Aaron Schoenfeld up top. Aaron Schoenfeld brought a nice physical kind of different look to the game against the Timbers, and we'll see if he can keep that up against Wigan tonight.
Drew that penalty on Pamudu Ka as Spies collides with academy player Adam Buxton. A few of the young members have made the trip. Buxton was injured for much of his reserve season last year from August to October. Liverpool boy, just 21 years of age. This is Boyce. And through his heritage, 4 caps with Barbados. He's pinned in along the touchline. Buxton. Holt couldn't hold it. And Anur kind of walks the tightrope there and finally fell out of play. "26 goals for Wigan last year on the home ground at the DW Stadium. 47 in total, but tied for a league worst 73 conceded. Under the Roberto Martinez style, you saw 3 in the back, which was a benefit to them 2 years ago, but not as much in the spring. Guys like Espinoza out wide would act as wing backs. That pass to MacArthur. Glasgow Scotland man out wide, and the cross coming in. Holt, who's good in the air, rises. But Lampson read it well as he had to battle the sun. Buxton able to get forward a bit on that gallop up the field to serve in the cross. Spies. Schoenfeld took a bump from Buxton, and a free kick coming for Columbus. Still awaiting the game's first goal as we've hit minute 18.
It'll be interesting to see who takes this free kick, obviously with Federico Higuain, the dead ball specialist, watching from the bench tonight. My guess would be Ben Spies. He took a lot of them the other night in the reserve match. Conrad Varzija looks to be lined up over it.
Don't forget the left foot of Bernardo Ignor. He's hit a few in his time. But as you initially predicted, Spies had set it up. Conrad strikes a good ball from 30 yards away, and it's bending high and out as the Crew on the march toward downtown in this first half. And a goal kick for Carson. 4 caps for him with England. He was on that Three Lions side in 2006 in Germany, but did not play. Marshall trying to out-muscle Holt. Gomez tucked inside. MacArthur with his back to goal, trying to jostle into position, and he is the one called for the foul.
Obviously, the Crew without Jairo Arrieta tonight. He's in Gold Cup action. Started tonight, and the Ticos are beating Belize right now as it approaches added time in the second half. 1-0.
Needless to say, the most competitive match of that Gold Cup group stage, in which the United States participating in, will be the last against Costa Rica. Another big win for the U.S. today against Cuba after falling behind, but Chris Wondolowski keeping up his great form. 2 more goals today. That ball is out in front of Owen Coyle, who's been on both sides of the coin in terms of promotion and relegation. Took Burnley to the promised land. We're up there for one season in 2009, 2010, but couldn't do enough to save Bolton. They were relegated after the 2012 campaign. Very complimentary of the league here in the States. Firsthand, of course, got to work with Tim Ream and Stuart Holden, who's made his international return with the Gold Cup side this month. 20th minute, scoreless, Trapp out of the double team, and further on back, Marshall to Lampson. Varzija got that away in the nick of time on some light pressure from Holt. O'Rourke. Spies, Trapp, and off to Varzija. Spies kept that nicely. Spies, and a good tackle by Buxton.
Spies maybe took a few too many touches there. He had Josh Williams sprinting up the right sideline. Maybe he could have gotten in across to Schoenfeld or Aduro making that late run in.
Spies scored on a penalty on Wednesday. Crew reserves beat Dayton. Wigan will see the Dutch Lions coming up on Tuesday. And the Crew reserve team picking up their 3rd victory of the season. A telegraph pass by Marshall, and Watson read it well, enough to flick in the direction of Beausejour. Craney slipped to the side as it will come out. Last off of Schoenfeld. Chris Penso, his assistants tonight, John Salazar, and got Vito Testo as the 4th official. On the throw, a foul. Down went McCann, the Dubliner, and a free kick for Wigan Athletic. Halfway through the first half, no score. We're glad you're aboard here on thecrew.com, and if you're staying up late in the old historic county of Lancashire, welcome. For the 32-year-old. Craney slid that along in a hard collision with Trapp on the 25-year-old McCann. Spees trying to receive that throw from Williams. Knocked back into the Crew defensive half. Trapp under duress. And Beausejour, with the pressure from Watson, forced that. And the Chilean with some nifty footwork kept it on the ground, a fortuitous deflection for Holt, who kind of clips that toward the penalty spot. In the end, no harm done until that foul. So a free kick in the 25th minute.
A lot of big bodies in the box for Wigan, obviously with Holt, Boyce, and Perch. 3 big targets here.
Crystal Palace, the 8-year home of Watson, who takes the free kick in stride, delivers, and there's Marshallou. Very good at cleaning things up in the air, heads out. Palace won the championship playoff. Cardiff and Hull City heading back to the Premiership in just a little over a month. Craney. A little bit more of a rhythm here from Wigan in the last 5 minutes or so. They've earned a few free kicks in the attacking half. And just as I say that, Beausejour gives it away unforced. And you are planted. Watson fouled him. Barson lays it along the tracks, and Buxton stride for stride with Spees, who sends that across. Craney does a nice job of reading the weak side run off the wing from Schoenfeld and plays it away. Columbus with a corner. No score in the 27th minute.
And that's what you got to like about Aaron Schoenfeld if you're a Crew fan. Did not give up on the play, forces the corner right there just by hustle.
So Ben Spees, who's started 9 games, appeared in 12. The Crew with their 20th match of the regular season upcoming next week on the 20th. Spees. The outswinger in Yor. He's been so good in the air, and he got his head to that one, but not much on it. Spees will try again from deep tucking toward the byline, but waiting for it is Carson. Perch. Holt directly to O'Rourke. Little trap. I'm sure his U.S. under-20 teammates can take a little more solace in knowing they tied the U20 champions in France earlier today, defeating Uruguay on penalties. When you look back at the group, too, Spain, who lost to Uruguay, and then Ghana, who might have been the second best team in the entire tournament in Turkey. Could be talking about players from all those sides down the road, including the U.S. Many homegrown signings throughout the MLS system on that U20 team. Scoreless in the 29th minute. Wigan will have the throw here. It's Buxton. Been in the youth system since 2010. His long heave forward with Gomez and a couple of connections squared across for the 12-cap Scottish international Craney. Beausejour. Craney delivers that for the rise of McCann. It is deflected as Marshall was in the way, and then Barson's hustle able to keep it out above the flag, so it will be a throw, but Wigan will maintain. Watson the first touch on that toss. Gomez, Watson, Holt climbs the ladder, but hit it straight in the air. The boos rang down from the Nordeca on this night. As it is custom, we'll see if they move to the south end in the second half, as is custom in the friendlies. Also in U.S. Open Cup games, a traveling supporter section as that ball is out. And then quickly tossed back in. Athletics have looked a little more comfortable in the last 10 minutes. Varzia detonates that at midfield. Oduro out wide to Varzia, who's not the fastest. As he crosses that in, an interesting choice with Oduro being as fast as he is. Manure, O'Rourke, Marshall. Now Trapp. Barson. The former Akron Zips. Off to Danny O'Rourke, who keeps that on the floor for Schoenfeld. Manure. A little bit of tap dancing around Watson there. Trapp tries to extend that, and Spies with a phantom lunge. And allowed Barson to move on forward, and in the end, earn the throw.
Well-deserved round of applause from the Crew Stadium faithful here. Barson's hustle on that play.
Ambitious effort from Will Trapp, but wide. So a goal kick for Carson. Well, that historic FA Cup title for Wigan. One of the other significant things about that, they had to go on the road for every one. Of course, the final at Wembley, a neutral site. They had a replay with Bournemouth. The Cherries are now in the championship after promotion this past season. That was their home game, then had to go there and win. 5th Division side in Conference National. Macclesfield Town, Huddersfield Town followed. Everton, Millwall in the semifinal. Millwall in the championship, and then defeating Manchester City. Even still surprising to the likes of Martin Tyler, who was shocked when they were handing them the trophy, but well-deserved for a club that's been on the rise. And they're long-standing supporters.
8 of the 12 players that featured in the FA Cup final here on this trip to the U.S. might see them all tonight.
And you've got Sean Maloney and McManaman, two guys pivotal in that attack in that game. Most likely to come on as reserves. Maloney's dealing with a bit of a thigh strain, and McManaman had rolled his ankle. Just over 10 minutes to play in the half. Craney. Former Tangerine de Beausejour. And against Schoenfeld and Williams, it's clipped away. Scotsman left back, brought in on a free transfer. He'll work to Perch. Forward movement from Boyce, but the pass behind Buxton. Beausejour. That was lobbed over the top by McCann. Trying to work against the athletic Josh Williams. Perch. Boyce. Held up. Gomez. Pestered a bit by Oduro. Craney tried to sneak that through. Varzia got down. Schoenfeld couldn't keep it in play. MacArthur. Perch. Craney picking out an open Holt, but so open it warranted the flag offside.
I think Holt was surprised initially when he didn't see the flag up, but he kept playing, and eventually the whistle blew.
So the Laddocks, who have taken a strong hold on some possession here recently, win that second ball. MacArthur in the mix, as well as Gomez, but that's freed, and Oduro runs the other way. Just outside the area, he goes down. O'Rourke collides with Holt as it makes its way back to the crew keeper, Lampson. Marshall. At Lampson, who did not play with Roger Espinoza at Ohio State. He was 2 years after the lone season for the Honduran. Rolls on out to O'Rourke. Varzija. Marshall. You know, Cody, it's just interesting to see without Federico Higuain here tonight, where you're looking for that natural link from the back toward the front. It's been interesting to see who's shown in that position in the middle, and sometimes not at all, and maybe that's part of the confusion a little bit with the crew possession.
And you'd think Ben Spees would be that guy to step up and kind of be that somewhat playmaker role. That's where he played in college at North Carolina and has shown it a little bit in crew reserve games, but we really haven't seen that out of Ben tonight.
The same can be said. The credit of the Wigan midfield to keep it on lockdown. Watson, Beausejour, and now back to Perch. Inside of 7 minutes in the first half. Neither team with anything of great substance in the final third. MacArthur. Marshall with the high boot. Might have got part of the forehead of Holt. And so Wigan, for the third time in the last 15 minutes, will have a free kick inside of 30 yards. As they move toward the north end here at Crew Stadium.
Kind of a tough call for Chad Marshall. I mean, Holt was bent over, kind of hard to avoid his head on the kick, but I mean, you got to call it when somebody gets kicked in the face, I guess.
With the exception of his lone stint back in 2001 in Singapore, Grant has been inside the country for all of his football. That free kick not hit well. And a goal kick for Lamson off that left boot of Jordi Gomez.
It'll be interesting to see if this is the last 5 minutes these Wigan starters play, see if they'll go wholesale changes at the half.
Well, not only unlimited substitutions, but essentially full rosters for both clubs to feature as many as they can. Watson able to keep this into the attacking end. MacArthur, before his time began at Wigan in 2010, was with Hamilton Academical, the Scottish Premier League. Owen Coyle knows these Scots well. He was essentially a lifer in his playing days, with 2 seasons at Bolton the exception. 1 cap with the Republic of Ireland through his family's heritage. Beausejour on the dead sprint, and Williams, watching them fly and stride against each other, has been fun to watch. That gets knocked out of the end, and it will be a Wigan corner.
You don't normally see Chad Marshall this fired up. He's had a lot to say to Chris Penso these last 5 minutes.
Well, the former politician has heard a lot before, so nothing new there. Penso. Watson. Kind of stumbled over that.
That'll go on the blooper reel.
Yeah, not the proudest moment of the first half. Here it comes. And on the contact inside, Holt is now called for shoving off on Chad Marshall. Away it goes from Lamson here in the 43rd. Can't imagine there'll be too much first half stoppage time. Buxton. Beausejour. That flag was up, though, as Holt had come from the offside position. That win for the Crew last year over Stoke City, their first in a while over an English opposition. Their previous matchups with Newcastle and Aston Villa in town ended in defeat. And Yor. He's got that good lower body strength. Picked out Oduro in the middle, who went wide to the near side wing for Williams. The Venezuelan cracks it just wide. You can see his confidence level, where his game's been at the last several matches, and that's the best looking shot the Crew have had in the first half.
Found just a little bit of space to get that shot off. Fortunately for the Crew, about 6 inches wide.
Carson, one of 3 keepers here in Ohio for Wigan. Academy player Lee Nichols and the ageless wonder Michael Pollock at 41 in his 9th season with the club are the backups. Final moments of a pretty pedestrian first half here.
About one good chance for each team, and that's all we've seen, Neil.
O'Rourke slipped away. And Chad Marshall still upset about something. That one drifts to the Wigan bench. Perch. Watson. Boyce. And the first half whistle. Well, little to talk about from an attacking perspective, Cody. As we said at the out session, essentially for Wigan as they try to get going in their first official preseason match. And for the Crew, there were some good things, but still you're looking for that consistent play for elongated periods.
I think it's what you would expect out of an international friendly. You know, both teams not going full throttle, but I will say one positive for the Crew in this was Josh Williams' play on Bosajor. I thought he did a great job on the wing against the Chilean international.
Okay, it is halftime here at Columbus Crew Stadium. The first ever meeting between the Crew and Wigan Athletic is scoreless after 45 minutes. We'll step aside and come back with more as you're watching this international friendly on thecrew.com.
There was a time I used to look into my father's eyes. In a happy home, I was a king, I had a golden throne. Those days are gone, now the memories on the wall. I hear the songs from the places where I was born. Upon that hill across the blue lake, that's where I had my first heartbreak. I still remember how it all changed. My father said, don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan
don't you worry now. Yeah. There was a time I met a girl of a different kind. We ruled the world. I thought I'd never lose her out of sight. We were so young. I think of her now and then. I still hear the songs reminding me of a friend. She has got a plan for you. Don't you worry now. Yeah. She has got a plan for you. Don't you worry, child. She has got a plan for you. Don't you worry now.
I feel so close to you right now, it's a force field. I wear my heart up on my sleeve like a big deal. Your love pours down on me, surround me like a waterfall. And there's no stopping us right now. I feel so close to you right now. There's no stopping us right now. I feel so close to you right now. There's no stopping us right now. And there's there's no stopping us right now. And there's no stopping us right now. I feel so close to you right now.
I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed.
Welcome back to Columbus Crew Stadium. Neil Sika, the Crew.com's Cody Sherritt. Second half about to commence in this international friendly between Columbus and Wigan Athletic of the championship. Winners of the FA Cup on their maiden voyage to the States for a preseason warm-up as their campaign begins on August the 13th. The Crew have made a few changes, more coming around the hour mark. Wigan just coming out of the tunnel to the left. Columbus out shooting the visitors 3-2 on the Laddocks, 4 on the Crew, and Wigan offside 3 times. Well, Roger Espinoza is up off Owen Coyle's bench. He will feature with Marc-Antoine Fortuné, who comes over from West Bromwich Albion. One of the 7 new signings in 9 days. Gomez Bosijur stay out there, as does Watson for Wigan. James McCarthy has also been introduced. MacArthur and Craney remain, as does Perch and Boyce, with Carson in goal. Agustin Viana, who has battled a nagging hamstring injury for the last 2.5 months, with a little bit of reserve time here and there, has come on. He'll be the left back and replaces Josh Williams. Everyone else remains the same for the Crew. Marshall, O'Rourke, Barson, Trapp, and yours, Maddox. Espinoza comes back to make his mark as he finds James McCarthy. Wigan, a minute into the second half, leads.
Not a good start to the second half for the Crew back line. Obviously, McCarthy wide open, easy header up into the top corner against Lamson. Great cross from Espinoza, but somebody's got to mark McCarthy in the box.
Well, he likes playing in Columbus, that's for sure. Part of that College Cup final side in 2007.
Well, I guess if you're a Crew fan, you're saying at least he doesn't play for Sporting KC. That's it for Peter Vermeer's side now.
Just mentioning moments ago his first professional goal here. He was also red carded after an elbow to Frankie Haydock in that game in 2008.
Somebody had to hold Frankie back yesterday during training. He was trying to get that 2-foot back to get some revenge, but luckily we had security.
The Scotsman McCarthy, who through his family is an Irish international. In fact, their Young Player of the Year in 2012, had 3 goals last season. He appeared in all 38 league matches. And he floated that header as Lamson had no chance. In his 5th season with Wigan, the goal scorer. 3 minutes into the second half, a Columbus foul.
Marc-Antoine Fortuné, leaving the game, number 9, Grant
Holt
entering the game, number 18, Roger
and Buxton,
leaving the game, number 7, Chris McCann.
as well as McCann, are the ones subbed off as Wigan makes 3 changes at the break. So a minute into the second half, Espinoza setting up McCarthy, the 22-year-old. And on this free kick, Fortuné plays it back across. It's Espinoza, falls kindly, but is not able to get anything off in the end as Marshall helped disrupt. Spies held up a bit, and then Oduro brushing into MacArthur. Last off of the Laddocks. Viana, the Uruguayan who was born in Chicago, didn't spend long there. His parents were earning their PhDs in the Windy City.
He played 30 minutes in a reserve match a few weeks ago against the Montreal Impact, 60 minutes on Wednesday against Dayton. So he'll get 45 tonight, and he's kind of got a spot to earn back, especially with the emergence of Chad Barson.
Now, there's been some chatter. He was starting at left back when he injured his hamstring, as Espinoza. A lot of time to roam on the prairie there, but the pass stolen away by Barson. Conrad Varzea was a freshman on that 07 Ohio State team. And this 45-degree pass finds Spies. Narrow into the middle, but too much for the late run of Ignore. Carson hits it first time. 5 minutes into the second half. Viana able to take out the legs of McCarthy there, the goal scorer. Espinoza into the path of Schoenfeld. Back to Viana. Some thought at least a lot of that leakage in June to the Crew defense. Maybe they were missing him. Now, he only played 20 minutes at that left back role, but even in the holding position, when the Crew were steady and solid in the first month and a half of the season, he was there. Ball is out.
And now he's got a battle with Matias Sanchez, too, in the midfield, as he's stepped up and kind of claimed a spot in that central midfield role for the Crew, and also Will Trapp and Conrad Varzea. So competition all over the field, no matter where Robert
from Anna. 9 goals in his time with the Baggies. Had 2 seasons at Celtic. Also played in France in the Eredivisie in the Netherlands. Coming over July 5th on a free transfer. Marshall right into the path of Boyce. That falls kindly to Conrad Varzea. Trapp tries to extend for Ignore, who's central, but quickly turned back the other way as Espinoza. Talking to him yesterday, where in that 3-man back line, he'd essentially be the wing back. He did play there a little bit at Kansas City. As that ball is out and Columbus has the throw. An early goal into this second half by James McCarthy. Espinoza the assist as the Crew have fallen behind here. Earn a throw in the attacking third. It is Barson on the right side now after Williams was there and subbed off at the half. A long toss in. Watson and Craney help guide it away. Schoenfeld using that tall, lanky frame to direct it off of Craney. Will stay with the Crew as they move to the north end of the stadium here. Varzea leapt in front of Schoenfeld. Some miscommunication on that toss. Then it's thumped back over midfield where Marshall, the lone man back, and will play it into the path of Matt Lampson, set to go the full 90 here tonight. O'Rourke. Viana. His daughter Sophia, born earlier this season. At midfield, Ignore to Trapp. Looking for Schoenfeld, but Perch and Craney tightening things up back there. Fortuné will pressure off the back pass as Lampson to rid it down Route 1. Got knocked wide and then back to the middle where Fortuné went down. Espinoza was charging forward. Gomez. Boyce. Perch. Watson. McCarthy. Looked long, a sequence of passes there for Wigan. 10 minutes into this second half. A little bit later on, you'll have a chance to vote for the Barbasol Man of the Match by texting in those results.
Actually, final 5 minutes on the field as we expect them to leave after 60 minutes. So they've got 5 minutes to get that goal back. The 10 that started the game. Viana came on at halftime.
Well, really, since the 20th minute on when Wigan caught their second wind, we've had a little bit more of the ball. Carson.
Earlier this evening, one lucky fan.
Perch. Oduro. He's lurking there.
Be our Scott's Field Seat upgrade winner. Tonight's lucky winner is Don Morris.
Speed couldn't win the battle with MacArthur. And he has a chance on the second bounce there to keep it in play, but cannot. Agustin Viana. O'Rourke, who wears the armband. Marshall. Hitting that out of the back for Spies, and the flag up. Offside, the first call on Columbus here tonight.
After scoring the game winner last year against Stoke City, I think Ben Spies has had kind of a rough 56 minutes so far here tonight. Can't really seem to get anything going in the attack.
Schoenfeld, I would agree. That pass bends out of bounds. Wigan quickly back in. A win, 4 losses, and 3 draws in their final 8. Their fate was sealed in the penultimate match of the season last year when they lost 4-1 to Arsenal.
You mentioned those Barbasol Man of the Match votes. If you're watching at home, you can text 01 to O'Rourke, 02 to Marshall for Marshall, 03 for Trapp, 04 for Honor. Those are your Barbasol Man of the Match nominees tonight.
95323, the number to text. 58th minute. And as Wigan wiggles to the attacking third, a foul is called. A free kick upcoming.
Could be back-to-back Barbasol Man of the Match. Man of the Match honors for Will Trapp. Got a little tongue-tied there.
He completed 94% of his passes on Sunday. Of course, let's not forget the aid, playing against 10 men. Be a good groundbreaker for some of these young guys getting action. A youth movement, essentially, for rest, most importantly, because of the 3 games in 9 days. That ball wasn't anywhere near where Watson had intended it. So Watson, with some Wigan pressure, will play. Deep in his own half.
And as the hour mark approaches, it looks like several Crew subs will make their way to the referees table at midfield.
Fortuné. Grappling with Marshall as he comes away on to that ball. Tried to sneak it back for the late run of Watson. Crew busted that up, and it finds Oduro in the middle, using his speed to now stretch it back to Schoenfeld, and runs out of room, runs out of equilibrium, and the ball back to the Lattics.
Obviously, that counterattack fell apart, but credit to Will Trapp for sliding in and getting things started there.
It's twice now Oduro is trying to cut to the middle, but the ball premature both times. First to Varzia in that first half, and then to Schoenfeld just moments ago. So here come the reinforcements, and there are many. On the hour mark, as was the plan, with the exception of Viana. We thought about playing him the full 90, but Daniel Withrow, who's out of Marshall, the rookie, 23 years of age, will come on. First action of any kind for him. Tyson Wall, Kevon George, Eric Gehrig will help round out the back line for the Crew. Matias Sanchez, Tony Chani, Justin Miram, Ethan Finley, and Ryan Finley, along with Sean Sloan, midfield man out of High Point. The rookie will come on.
And it'll be the same formation, obviously, with Sean Sloan, Matias Sanchez, and Tony Chani as the central midfielders, and then the three-headed attack of Ethan Finley, Ryan Finley in the middle, and Justin Miram on the left.
Watson, that's a good pass. Finds Gomez. Wigan about to make changes to their side. MacArthur collapses. There's a foul on Chani. And you could hear the owl from up here. Chani checking on his opponent. But Gomez still a little bit hostile. Wigan a free kick in the 62nd minute. 46th minute, McCarthy from Espinoza. That's the game's only goal. So Owen Coyle, who's brought over much of the staff that was on the sideline with him at Bolton, and Sandy Stewart and Phil Hughes, look to their bench, and they're about to bring on 3 new players. But Gomez's free kick first, and it's a good ball. But in the end, Boyce knocks it wide and out of play. So a goal kick for Withrow. And we will see 3 new Lattics. Caleb McManaman, really the key cog into their success in the second half of that FA Cup final. He helped earn the corner kick that led to the historic Watson goal. Beausejour is off, as is Watson. Nua Diko, signed by Roberto Martinez in August of 2011, comes on. Had loan spells with both Blackpool and Wolves. And Fraser Fivey from Aberdeen, Scotland. Played on their youth international teams. This is a good ball inside to Fortuné, and he tucks it home on a great pass from the man we were just talking about, Fivey. Fortuné is upended. He's made it 2-0 Wigan in the 63rd after the Crew have given it away in the back.
What a ball from Fivey up to Fortuné. Catches the Crew central defenders napping, and easy finish for Fortuné.
So Fivey, the last of those 3 recent substitutions, provides the dish to Marc-Antoine Fortuné. Couple of goals last year in 21 appearances for West Bromwich Albion. So he rolls in the second, and Wigan have a 2-0 lead. Miram Running at Deco. This is Gehrig. He's in the right back roll, finding Sean Sloan. And he lifts that high. And that momentum maybe a little high, that testosterone coming onto the field and getting a good look, but it sails away for a goal kick.
What a ball to switch to the point of attack and get that offensive started, though, by Sloan over to Miram.
Sean Sloan has played in 7 reserve games with 3 starts. He has a goal coming back on March the 31st. The 66th pick in the supplemental draft, the 4th round, essentially one of the last taken out of High Point in North Carolina. That ball going out. Viana will throw in, so he's the left back with Wall and Kevon George in central defense. Miram and Deco combine there to take out each other. And the foul is on the Parisian-born forward. Working on the wing right now, 21 years of age. Wall hammered that. It falls incomplete for the Carson goal kick. Perch and Boyce still out there. McCarthy, he had the first goal. Craney on up the wing there. And a foul called. Down goes McManaman. 2 goals and 2 assists in league play for him last season. Had 3 goals on their FA Cup run. 20 minutes into the second half, both goals for Wigan in this second period of action. McCarthy a minute in, and moments ago it was Fortuné from the new substitute, Fivey. Sanchez for Sloan, and that was a back pass that Wall had to get on quickly and hammer it back over midfield. Perch, Craney, Espinoza, McCarthy. MacArthur still out there. He started the match. Now MacArthur finds McCarthy.
I think you're going to see a more frenetic final half hour of this match as guys like Ethan Finley, Tony Chani, Justin Miram are out there trying to earn more minutes. Ryan Finley, a rookie, he hasn't played since the Colorado match on May 11th. So all these guys are out there trying to earn more first-team minutes.
Here is the rookie from Notre Dame. Dragged it back across quite nicely, then took the shot. But it drifts wide. As Cody just alluded to, May 11th, the last appearance for Finley in league play. Dealt with an ankle sprain over the last few weeks, although he saw 58 minutes on Wednesday in the reserve match against Dayton. 2-0 Wigan Athletic. Here in the 68th minute. Long and out of play, intended for MacArthur. Miram off the instep on Viana's throw. Quickly collected by Deco. His last loan spell with Wolves from March to May, where he scored a goal in 4 appearances. Wolves were relegated for the 2nd consecutive season. Robert Plant continues to shake his head as they drop to League One. Gehrig. He's normally been in central defense. A couple of touches there that were uncomfortable. Who were able to clear it out of the back in the end. Espinoza, that well-timed run. Sporting Kansas City missing that part of their midfield this year. Well, they're hanging around in a playoff position. They have been inconsistent in terms of the pace they set for themselves last year. Crew will see Espinoza's former club 2 more times in the regular season. Fivey. Aberdeen-born man with Finley trying to gauge where MacArthur was going to play that ball.
Yeah, some of the scores, 2 scores are final already this week, and 2 games in progress right now. Philly beat Chivas last night. Red Bulls laying 4 on the Montreal Impact today.
The East leaders, Deco.
4-0, the home team beating the Impact in that one. In New England, the Revolution and the Dynamo are tied at 1-1, and in the 21st minute, Sporting KC in Toronto, Sporting leading the Reds 1-0. Our friend Duncan Outen up there looking to get things going for the Reds.
Crew will make a return trip to Toronto coming up the final weekend of the month. A late run by Fortuné, and that provided some crosstown traffic, but Deco's ball went out off a member of the Crew. Espinoza takes the corner. Ethan Finley heads out, but MacArthur is there, collects, finds the man he wanted in Boyce, but well offside. And so Emerson Boyce, those 4 caps with Barbados, came back in World Cup qualifying in 2010. 4 goals during the regular season last year. The 33-year-old in his 8th season. Just off the River Douglas. Speaking of the man, he's going to give way on the throw here for MacArthur. Fortuné backing into Wall. McCarthy hounded by Chani. Pressure from Miram. Boyce with the back pass to Carson. Hung tough there for 72 minutes. Crew have not really tested the keeper. Even on that Honora shot, he was over on that near post side in the first half. Wigan with 2 here in the second. First ever meeting between the 2 clubs, and the ball will slip off the boots of Miram. Justin Miram with 8 appearances in the regular season, 4 starts. Espinoza shuttles over to the near side to help keep possession. Now Viana having trouble with the speedy Deco. Left it back. Fortuné and Kevon George there to block it. As the new signing looking for a brace here in the friendly. Sloan. With the touch to George and able to compose himself again to now find Wall. 73rd minute here at Crew Stadium. Espinoza. A Buckeye and a Wolverine meet at midfield, and it's the Honduran. Could not dispossess, and the ball goes wide, and Finley lays that into the tracks well for Gehrig. Finds Finley, and he's got a goal! It caught the benefit of a deflection, but in the end, Ryan Finley, on a ball that had eyes on the cross from Gehrig, has cut the lead in half. It's 2-1 in the 74th minute.
And I hate to say it, but kind of reminiscent of Aaron Horton's goal last season against Stoke City. Similar play, Emilio Renteria took it down to the end line, crossed it in, it took a deflection and landed at the feet of Horton. And this year we see the same thing with Finley. And it looks like Sean Maloney will come on for the Lattics.
Maloney, such a big part of this Wigan attack. He was so crucial down the stretch in 2012. Team's leading assist man last year with 9. He also had 6 goals. So he's on here. Ryan Finley, who scored 3 goals in reserve play, gets the assist from Eric Gehrig. Fivey is fouled in his own end. For Gehrig, that's his first point of any kind in any competition this season. He does have 1 career assist coming back last May in league play. 15 minutes remaining. And the Crew on the board. Maloney slipped and fell. Viana's pass looking for the streaking Finley, who has always had a nose for a goal. He scored at Duke. He scored at Notre Dame. And in his brief time with the reserves, he's scored for them too.
Quite remarkable. Never started a game for Notre Dame.
Now he's got it here, settling it on a 3rd touch. And that crawling like an ant over the byline in the end as he tried to maneuver it around Boyce. So a little bit of life now for the Crew after the goal. Carson.
Not only with the Crew, but seems like that Nordeck is coming alive a little bit now.
They wanted something desperately to cheer about here. And they got it. And it's a game again. Inside of 15 minutes left. Sloan wide for Finley. Adrift for Gehrig. Eric Gehrig, one of those utility guys, of course. Here with Columbus, he's been stationed primarily in central defense, but has seen some time out wide in the fullback roles. And in college, he was a playmaker for the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago. Withrow. Viana got up over Craney and puts that into the path of Finley, who nutmegged and found Viana, who scorches it wide of a diving Carson. Good build-up and sequence for the Crew. It got deflected in the end. The Crew will have a corner kick, trailing 2-1 on the 77th.
I think that goal kind of lit a fire in Ryan Finley. We've seen some inspired play out of him these last few minutes since the goal.
Well, one thing's for sure, Cody, I'll get to that after this corner kick, which is a dart right at McCarthy. He plays away. Even though you have Oduro with 8 goals, Arrieta's been away on international duty. You're kind of looking for that second-level score, and it still necessarily hasn't been settled yet. Even though Higuain has scored 5 goals, 4 have been from the penalty spot. Schoenfeld has been up there as of late, but that second forward position by no means is completely settled with 15 regular season games remaining. So a chance like Finley, which are few and far between with reserve games, you've got to make your mark. And he's provided a spark, and now he's going to try and come onto the ball here, but it's too strong, plus he was offside.
You mentioned looking for that second scorer. Crew's looking at several young guys to step up, whether it be Ryan Finley, Aaron Schoenfeld, or even Ethan Finley. Several chances against Portland on Sunday.
Well, the good thing about Arrieta, he scored before departing. He scored on international duty. He started earlier today in their second game of the group stages against Belize at Rio Tinto in Salt Lake. That lofted ball looking for Fortuné is out. The Uruguayan with Sanchez not recognizing with Maloney in his path, creating some mischief. McManaman tries to outduel George, but in the end, the Crew go the other way. And Gehrig's pass is too strong.
You mentioned Arrieta on Gold Cup duty. I think the biggest thing for him is he has to get in a rhythm. He's been with the crew, with Costa Rica on and off, had a 2-match suspension. I think the biggest thing for him, he just needs to play consistently, whether it be with Costa Rica, whether it be here, and I think he's going to find his scoring way again.
No question, he's still the guy they're looking to be that other provider of goals. But in late game situations, the threat of if you're down a goal, or maybe you're looking for a winner, will someone blossom into the foreground? A foul here. McManaman, just 22. Merseyside-born man. Maloney curls inside off that restart. Fortuné. Fivey had the assist on the Fortuné goal. McCarthy from Espinoza. Those are the Wigan tallies. Gehrig turning it inside to Ryan Finley, the rookie from Notre Dame. 5 minutes ago, cutting the deficit to 1. Perch extending out on that one and finding the diminutive Maloney. McManaman, good burst into the attacking third, but good recovery and tackle by George. Inside of 10 minutes left. On the near flank, Miram comes into the attacking half. Sloan spikes it aside for Gehrig. Crew building here. Ethan Finley, second-year player from Creighton, back to Gehrig. Hit it first time on the path of Chani. Sanchez slips in to knock it down. Away from Wigan. Fortuné, the lone man with Wall there. Now Sloan has to gather. Wigan have the numbers in the midfield. Fivey. Espinoza.
A reminder to get your Barbasol Man of the Match votes in. Text 01 for Danny O'Rourke, 02 for Chad Marshall, 03 for Will Trapp, 04 for Bernardo Honor to 95323 for the Barbasol Man of the Match.
Under the pressure of Ryan Finley from the back pass, got it to midfield. Deco couldn't keep in. Or rather, when he did, it was right at Miram. Curtails toward Ryan Finley. Ethan Finlay also up there. Wigan trying to get out on the break, but the flag up for offside. Owen Coyle didn't like that call.
It was close. I actually thought he was on. I was surprised to see the flag up.
John Safar with the flag on the near sideline made the call. Sloan with some time and space with the pass not good. It's right at Craney. Stephen Craney. Danua Deco. Back for Fivey. And it rotates around clockwise. Maloney. Espinoza forward. Hurdling Gehrig. And it looks like he got a piece of the Crew right back. .33 caps for the Honduran Espinoza. Coming from the playground games of Denver as a young Honduran boy, moving stateside, and really a meteoric rise since that final game of his college career.
I mean, you think about it, Yavapai Junior College to Ohio State, Sporting Kansas City, 2010 World Cup, 2012 Olympics, then on to Wigan, winning the FA Cup. It's just remarkable.
Justin Miram, the other Yavapai man on the field, although he came after Espinoza's time, the national junior college power. Another offside call.
Failed to mention that U.S. Open Cup last year for Sporting
Absolutely.
Kansas City as well. Probably the only guy to win domestic trophies in both countries within 9 months of each other.
I said to him yesterday, every time you come back or we're talking, something new and exciting has happened. Even besting what you had previously accomplished. Viana's going to have the throw here. A little over 5 minutes remaining. The Crew trailing 2-1. Maloney out jumps Sanchez to nudge it back to the midfield, but not for long. Chani, Viana. It was a good-looking cross, perch away. George bulldozes in front of Fortuné. And this will carry him all the way back to Withrow. Withrow had a very, very good career down in Huntington, West Virginia with Marshall. Teammate of Bartosz Farzia at one time. Ethan Finley had a lot of room, but was offside in the end.
I think he's saying it hit his wrist. That's what the signal over there looked like. Looked like incidental, but I guess you got to call it if it's going to lead to a goal.
Still having the cast on his right arm. Suffered when he went into the boards. Essentially a cross-check from behind in the reserve game back in the middle of May.
It's a thinner, less bulky cast than what he's been wearing.
Sanchez. Nice little touch and turn by Ethan Finley, and Espinoza fouled him. Sanchez.
Will
Off
Trapp
the wall.
currently leading man of the match voting, in line for his second Barbasol man of the match honors. Still have time to vote.
Yana. Tuck that inside. 5-y. Back to recollect. Ethan Finley. Sanchez. Gehrig. McManaman there. This is kind of shanked across. And Deco will hammer it back over midfield.
Again, still time to vote for Barbasol man of the match. Text 01 for Danny O'Rourke, 02 for Chad Marshall, 03 for Will Trapp, and 04 for Bernardo Honor to 95323. Will Trapp is currently leading.
Crew looking for a second consecutive summer victory in an international friendly against an English club. The time running short, down a goal here in the 88th minute. Wall. Miram in a crowd. Kind of tap danced with that. And Craney or Deco, and a foul in the end on Columbus. Next week, league play resumes. The upstart New England Revolution, they've taken points in 7 of their last 8 games, will be here. It is Dollar Night at the stadium. You can catch the telecast on Fox Sports Ohio, and Crew radio coverage resumes on 610 WTVN here in Columbus. By next Saturday, Wigan will be back across the pond. 2 final tune-ups before the Community Shield. This falls free. Chani, Ethan Finley, who had to hurdle Carson in the end after a sloppy giveaway by Wigan in the back. And the Crew earn a corner in the final moments here. 89th minute, down 2-1.
It's good goalkeeping from Scott Carson, showing why he's earned some time with the English national team.
Well, depending on how soon Ali Al-Habsi, who is the number 1, is ready, Carson could feature quite prominently in the early portions of the season. Tyson Wall to the Nordeca. And here's the corner. Viana was setting up, but Deco rose. Despite not being all that big, the flat top provided a little cushion to help leverage that. It's last off of Columbus. And in the final minute, I can't imagine there will be a lot of second half stoppage time. As friendlies go, usually none at all. Long ball for Fortuné, who's strike from Fivey. Fivey's pass, slipping it through to the right side of the box, providing the difference here. Gave Wigan a 2-0 lead. And all things considered, to start, they're still getting into shape, but had some good sequences here. And the Crew, a little bit late, but showed a little bit of life. Sloan forward. There's Carson to gobble it up. Final seconds ticking away. Carson will punt this forward. There are 2 minutes of second half stoppage time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official on the sideline has indicated that there will be a minimum of 2 minutes of added time to the second half.
Espinoza extending it over the head of Perch. Ryan Finley forcing Scott Carson to pick that up. Perch, Carson, heaves it. Gehrig lets it go out. Desperation heave. Espinoza seals it off. Maloney, Fivey, Shawnee tries to turn him over. Good keep by the Scotsman. McManaman. Sanchez strips him of the merchandise, but then gave it away. Espinoza, minimum of 2 minutes here in the second half. Moments from Chris Penso's final whistle. Wigan trying to kill it off. Chani leads it on up. Here's Sloan. One more march forward. McCarthy able to knock it out. Into Chani. Last moments here. Chani
Ball from Ethan Finley
to the channel. The hopeful cross floats away. Craney will put this back in. And Wigan about to confirm a 2-1 victory here at Crew Stadium on their first trip. Deco.
I think we'll agree the second 45 minutes was much more exciting than the first.
Well, it's not done yet. Miram making that interesting to Finley. Spills away off his forehead to Carson, and that will do it. Wigan in their first season in the championship since the 2003-2004 campaign, as they'll try and push back for promotion. The defending FA Cup champions pay a visit to Columbus, and a victory in the capital city. The final, Wigan Athletic 2, the Columbus Crew 1. And Cody, you were just alluding to the second 45 minutes, the energy that came with Ryan Finley's goal, and that was some of the positive, but there's still a lot of in-between stuff for the Crew they need to work on from now until the end of the season, but a good test.
Yeah, and like we said leading up to the match, it was about staying sharp in an off week of MLS play. I think it was good to see some of the young guys get minutes. Obviously, Ryan Finley scoring his first goal with the first team. It was a good to see that, but it's not about the result, obviously, for either team. For Wigan, it was about fitness, getting guys to gel together with 5 new starters in the lineup. For the Crew, just staying sharp and a week off from MLS play.
If you're Owen Coyle, first game of the preseason, you're not concerned about results. You're wanting to get the team into shape, but there were some good spells. They did hold the ball pretty well from about the 20th minute on.
Yeah, it seemed like that final ball was missing in the first half. Obviously, Grant Holt still kind of getting adjusted to his new team, so maybe we see them start to gel, and maybe they can earn a promotion back to the Premier League next season.
And for the fans who came out here tonight and may have known of one player from Wigan, that might have been Roger Espinoza, comes on, has an immediate impact in the second half with the assist on McCarthy's goal.
What a cross from him from the left flank, just sends it in perfectly. McCarthy unmarked in the box, and easy header into the top corner to beat Matt Lampson.
Okay, so the Laddocks 2-1 victors here tonight. McCarthy and Fortuné the goals. All three scores coming in the second half. Ryan Finley from Eric Gehrig for the Crew right before the final quarter hour hit. Wigan 2, Columbus 1. We have a few people we want to thank. Skylar Schmidt and Weston Brown at the controls of this one, and a guy you work with closely too. His final game as a member of the Columbus Crew, and that's TJ Ansley, the digital content editor, has done a fantastic job. He's off with some new digs, and the Portland Trailblazers want to wish him well. He's been fantastic in his time.
Of course. He's the man that makes this all possible. I know even though he'll be in Timbers country, he'll still be Columbus till he dies.
No question about that. Thank you, TJ, and thanks, guys, for help putting this production here tonight. For thecrew.com's Cody Sherritt, I'm Neil Sika. Also want to thank our PR staff, Alex Caulfield and Tim Miller, as well as Wigan for providing some great information through Ed Jones. Safe travels back, and best of luck this upcoming season. For those fans staying up late in the greater Manchester area, we appreciate it, as well as all the Crew fans out there. Thanks for watching. The final score for the final time, Wigan Athletic 2, the Columbus Crew 1. For Cody Sherritt, I'm Neil Sika from the stadium. Good night.
Know where I belong. I don't know where I went wrong. But I can write a song. I belong with you. You belong with me. You're my sweetheart. I belong with you. You belong with me. You're my sweetheart. I don't think you're right for him. Think of what it might have been if you took a bus to Chinatown. I'd be standing on Canal and Bowery. She'd be standing next to me. I belong with you. You belong with me. You're my sweetheart. I belong with you. You belong with me.